This is Matt from Hard Rockology, and that's some brand new music from Sweden. Name of the band is Billion Dollar Babies. Name of the track is Junkie's Ball. Actually, check out the video. It's out there on YouTube right now. Great video, great song. But more importantly, on the phone right now from the band, guitarist, vocalist, Pat Kramer. Pat, welcome to the Hard Rockology Show.
Thank you so much, Matt. Nice to be here.
I mean, I got to ask you, Junkie's Ball, man, what is that all about? I mean, it's a pretty crazy video when you see the videos, so why don't you talk a little bit about that track, making the video as well?
Yeah, it's basically just a performance video, you know. We wanted to do, we have a new video that's coming out in a month also. That's more of a storyline, but this is just, you know, raw energy. But it's all about the performance. And the song is a great song. We think it's a great song. It's about, if you listen to the lyrics, it might at first glance just be about a big awesome party, but we always think about our put a lot of efforts in our lyrics and write about songs. We write about stuff that we think is kind of fucked up in the world. So this. If you listen to the lyrics a few times, you might understand that it's all about attention seeking and you know, the addiction to getting attention and stuff like that. So it's that's what the song is about in the video.
All right, and really quick, just so our listeners out there, because we're here in the States, and I know you haven't had a chance here to tour in the United States, at least not yet. Hoping you guys do. And the reason why I say I think it's a great video, because I've seen some of the videos of you guys playing live and the energy that you guys have on stage. You guys are up there on stage performing, in my opinion, a lot better than some well-known bands are doing. You bring the energy, you make the music come alive, and the fans in the crowd are just going crazy. So when you see this video, I think you've done a great job capturing that energy that you guys are like on stage. And that's what I'm saying. When you see this video, I think you get a really good idea what the band's like, seeing you guys live. And that being said, having listened to this album, you know, I think you've done a really great job capturing that live feel to the music. And I think, to me, the album sounds very live in its production.
Thank you. That's the whole goal of the album. We wanted to do it. Yeah, just like you said, capture the whole live feeling of the band. We have always been a band that has rehearsed a lot and jammed a lot together. So we wanted to record it that way. So everything is recorded, everybody together. You know, the two guitarists, bass and drums, and then the vocals are added afterwards, of course.
I know there's a couple tracks on the album. Everyone's in Love with a Chemical God. I know that's a track that's been around for several years. And I know back in 2012, you guys released your EP, House of Dreams. Now, is this an extension of that EP? Are there some tracks that were written perhaps during that time, or since that EP was released, that's basically a transition into this full-length album?
Yeah, originally we actually had an idea of doing the House of Dreams as 3 EPs. So actually, the first one was released, and then we recorded the next one, and then we had some, you know, internal stuff in the band that led to some delays, and then finally we thought that the hell with the second EP, let's do an album with it. So 3 of the songs that are on this album are actually what was supposed to be the House of Dreams Part 2. And one of them is Everyone's in Love with a Chemical God.
Now, what would the other 2 tracks be, just for the listeners out there?
Yeah, it's President Pain and When the Light Goes Out.
All right. I mean, those are some great tracks as well, too.
Yeah, and those are probably the heaviest tracks on the song on the album, apart from Junkie's Ball, maybe.
Now, I know you guys are heavily influenced by bands like Kiss, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, Wasp.
Yep.
But that track, President Pain, to me, that track sounds like, I'm going to go ahead and say this, it sounds like, you know, if a groupie was having sex with Motley Crue and Sebastian Bach at the same time, the Bastard Child coming out would be that particular track. I mean, it's got so much Motley Crue and Sebastian Bach, and I'm saying this in a good way because I'm saying the best of Motley Crue and the best of Sebastian Bach on that track. That's a really great track. So why Why don't you talk a little bit more about the President Payne track, because that's a real heavy track. It's got a great groove to it, and it's got some phenomenal vocals by your vocalist Frankie.
Yeah. It's just a a balls to the wall song, and even there the lyrics are about duality, and it's about people that seem to be good, but are genuinely bad instead. And the President Payne, there are a few guys in your country that, well,
more than a few.
Yeah, it might be like that, and even all over the world, of course. But but it's a cool track, and it's about people that seem to be good, but they're only doing harm and egoistic stuff.
Now I'm going to sit there and talk about what I think is the opus of the album, the final track. The final track on the album, House of Dreams, which is one of my favorite tracks as well on the album. So what's going on with that? It's a nice 7-minute track. There's not a lot of bands out there putting out 7-minute tracks any longer. So was that just a chance for you guys to just let it all out there, kind of almost like a jam session track?
Yeah, sort of. But actually, that's the oldest song on the album. I think it's written in like 2010, I think. It's a song that has been thrown around in our studio lots of times, lots of different versions of it. We've rewritten the lyrics several times, and it's just we think of it as a fun song, and gives us the opportunity to show our the side of Alice Cooper, the theatrical side that we like about his kind of music. So I think that's the things that shine through on that track. And we haven't played that song live. I don't think we've ever rehearsed it even. It's just it's a studio song, actually.
Now, is it possible that the fans out there may get a chance to hear that song live, or is that going to be something that maybe you'll continue to work with and eventually go out and play it live?
Maybe it's a song that there are lots of elements in the song, in the recording, that we can't reproduce live unless we have the half of the song on backing tracks. But we don't like doing it that way.
You know what?
So maybe I don't know.
You know what? I appreciate you saying that, because a lot of bands out there are using a lot of backing tracks. So I'm glad to hear that $1 Billion Babies doesn't want to go that route. So I appreciate you guys doing that, and it really does make the show that much more intense when you guys are up there doing what it is that you're doing, not using backing track. So
yeah, we have backing tracks on a few songs, but it's not much. It's just like some synthesizers on some parts, and it's not. We never have the idea that the backing tracks should be the main part of any song.
Exactly.
So
let's talk about some of the members. I know Frankie Rich, vocalist, is the founding member of the band as well, and you're also one of the longest standing members in the band as well. So who's currently in $1 Billion Babies? That way, because I mean, between the two of you guys, I'm assuming Max Lander, the other guitar player as well.
Yeah, and he's the newest addition to the band. He's a young guy. He's a great guitar player. He's a great guy to hang around with. So he's really an awesome addition to the band.
Now, is it both you and Frankie that are writing most of the lyrics and most of the songs, or what's the writing process like for you guys when you guys are sitting in the studio writing tracks, or do you guys bring in different things together and then working on them in the studio?
Someone of us has an idea, and you might say that Frankie has written some kind of chorus hook or something, and he might work with it, to make a rough demo, or he just comes into the studio and says, "Hey, I got this lyric hook. Let's do a song." And we always make sure that we all are involved in as much as possible of each song. So we write all the lyrics together. We write the main part of the music together. So every one of us can add their, personal touch to the songs, and it worked like that. It's worked like that in our band since 2009 maybe, where we had other members and they were also involved in the song writing all the time. So it takes a lot of time to do it like that, but we feel it's really worth it.
I mean, and I could say, listening to this album, it is probably one of the best albums of 2016 so far. I know the year is still early, but this album has been in my CD player, digital player now for the whole month that I've been listening to it, and it's that good of an album. I mean, it's got the catchy hooks, the licks, I mean, the vocals, it's all there. And it's got some melodic nature to it, but not so much to where it's overly melodic, but it's extremely heavy and hard. And it's got a lot of that sleaze, that people talk about, the LA Sunset sleaze type sound to it as well, but some classic rock as well. I think it's a well-crafted, and for the fans out there that have been waiting for some new billion-dollar babies, I think they're going to be really impressed with this new release.
Thank you so much.
Now, I have to ask you, if you had to pick a song, one of your favorite songs off this album, or if you had somebody out there that was asking, well, give me one song that really basically, in your opinion, this is who we are, this is Billion Dollar Babies, what would that one track be on this album?
That would be Everyone's in Love with the Chemical God. It has all the elements of our band, I think. It's heavy, it's melodic, and it's the arrangement of the song is it's just the way we would like a song to be.
And it's a great track. And also too, if somebody goes to see you guys play live, what can they expect? I know they're going to get pyrotechnics, but what can they expect from a Billion Dollar Baby show?
Oh, we always put on a good show, much energy. We always give 100%. We never get lazy or something. We're very, passionate about playing live. We're not a band that thinks we can sit in the studio and have fun, but we really want to go out and play live. So that's our home field, and that's where we are at our best.
And like I said, I've had a chance to see some of those videos, and visually, just from the videos, and this is coming off of YouTube, you guys definitely have the energy out there on stage, and it definitely comes across to the audience and the fans. And like I said previously, it definitely comes across on this album, the production on this album. It's just such a well-crafted, I'm going to say old school, because it really does capture what you guys do best, which is just play live. Yeah,
thanks.
Now, what we always do here on the Hard Rockology shows, we have a Spinal Tap moment, and we know you guys have been playing for a while, and I've seen some of those videos and some of those shows, so you have to have a Spinal Tap moment that stands out for you. Is there anything you want to share with our listeners out there?
Maybe when we recorded our music video for the song "Boys Not Out" to our previous album, Die for Diamonds, that was more of a glam pop rock album. The video was shot in an ice rink for ice hockey. It was freezing, and we stood there, trying to act, and there were hockey players skating around us in full speed, and I don't know, it didn't turn out that good. But it was fun, and it was cool at the moment. But looking back, we maybe should have done something else.
I hear you. I have to ask you, Frankie Rich, what was with that eye patch that he was wearing for a while? What was that all about?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, we've tried a lot of different costume stuff, but we've backed off it a little bit. So I think it was just a transition period or something.
I mean, you look back and you see that, I'm like, wow, he's got an eye patch. it's a kick-ass eye patch too. But
yeah, it's a nice eye patch, but I don't know.
you guys don't put it this way. You guys don't need to put on costumes. Don't need to do any of that kind of stuff. Your show performance and just being up on your energy on stage. In a way, you guys remind me a lot of Hardcore Superstar. Your energy that you guys have on stage. So take that as a compliment.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners what the fans out there can expect from Billion Dollar Babies in 2016 outside of the brand new album Chemical God being released at the end of this month, the 29th of January. What else can the fans out there expect from you guys?
We'll be touring Sweden in February and March, and then we will head on down to Europe and April, May, June, July, some festivals maybe, and then we're working on some kind of plan for the autumn. We're gonna write some songs meanwhile, and hopefully we'll get to the States somehow, some way.
Well, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, good.
We're waiting for you.
Nothing done yet, but let's see what happens.
You know what? They have a lot of these Sweden bands. Like I said, Hardcore Superstars coming over with Michael Monroe, and a couple years ago we had Crash Diet with Crucified Barbara. I mean, there's definitely bands coming over here. Hopefully, maybe you could piggyback on one of those tours and maybe play a couple gigs.
Would be great.
Yeah. So we definitely want to see you out here in LA, especially at the Whiskey. I think you guys would go over great at the Whiskey.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Such a classic place,
All right, Pat. I want to thank you for joining us here on the Hard Rockology Show to talk about your brand new release, Chemical God. And like we do with all of our guests, why don't you go ahead and introduce another track off of what I think is going to be one of the best albums of 2016.
All right. The next track is I Want to See You Burn. And it's a kick-ass song.
All right. Here we go, man. I Want to See You Burn, the opening track off of Billion Dollar Baby's latest release, Chemical God. Turn it up.
My sanity's on trial.